Hello developers and welcome back to We Make It Easy. My name is Felix and for today's video I'm gonna guide you on what the beginners need to know about Python programming. So what is Python? Python is a back-end programming language that is great for beginners. Python is similar in many ways to Ruby but is less verbose than other programming languages, a little less wordy, and also Python is highly approachable. Even if you haven't taken a CS class, you still write a useful tool in Python. It's a high level, so you don't have to deal with the lower level aspects of programming, such as memory management. And also, Python can be used for scripting, web scraping, and creating datasets. It's a popular in scientific community for scientific computing. There are libraries that make it easy to share academic code projects in Python. Python is also a web programming language, so it interfaces with the internet. It knows how to receive and send web requests and talk to databases. And Python is so-called lossy type. This category of programming languages doesn't require you to state a type of value a function returns when you define the function, or type of variable before you create it. And also, Python community is welcoming, well-maintained, and well-documented. And that's it. That is important for the beginners. So now let's talk about comparing Python to other languages. Python is often compared to other interpreted languages such as Java, JavaScript, Perl, TZL, or Smalltalk. Comparisons to C++, Common Limbs, and Scheme can also be enlightening. And in this video, I will briefly compare Python to each of these languages. Python versus Java. Python programs are generally expected to run slower than Java programs, but they also take much less time to develop. Python programs are typically 3 to 5 times shorter, equivalent to Java programs. This difference can be attributed to Python's built-in high-level data types and its dynamic typing. For these reasons, Python is much better suited as glue language, while Java is better characterized as a low-level implementation language. In fact, the two together make an excellent combination. Components can be developed in Java and combined to form applications in Python. Python versus JavaScript. Python's object-based subset is roughly equivalent to JavaScript. Like JavaScript, Python supports a programming style that uses simple functions and variables without engaging in class definitions. In Python, on the other hand, supports writing much larger programs and better code reuse through an object-oriented programming style, where classes and inheritance play an important role. Python versus Perl. Python and Perl come from similar background and support many similar features but have a different philosophy. Perl emphasizes support for a common application-oriented task. For example, having built-in regular expression, file scanning, and report generating features, while Python emphasizes support for common programming methodologies such as data structure design, object-oriented programming, and encourages programmers to write readable code by providing elegant but not over cryptic notations. As a consequence, Python comes close to Perl but rarely beats in its original application domain. However, Python has an applicability well beyond Perl's niche. Python versus Tool Command Language. Python and Tool Command Language is usable as an application extension language, as well as a standalone programming language. However, Tool Command Language, which is traditionally stores all the data as strings, is weak in data structures and execute typical code much slower than Python. Tool Command Language also lacks features needed for writing large programs, such as modular namespaces. One redeeming quality of a Tool Command Language is a Tiki toolkit. However, Python has adapted an interface to Tiki as its standard GUI component library. Python versus C++. Almost everything we said for Java also applies for C++. Also that in Java, Python code is typically 3 to 5 times shorter than Java code, while in C++, Python code is 5 to 10 times shorter than C++ code. Anecdotal evidence suggests that one Python programmer can finish in 2 months, while C++ programmers can complete in a year. Python shines as a glue language used to combine components written in C++. Python versus Ruby. Two of the most popular programming languages, especially first languages, are Ruby and Python. Ruby is used widely for websites such as Airbnb, Holo, Kickstarter, and GitHub. Python is used for websites such as Google, YouTube, Spotify, and Quora. Both languages came around in the mid-90s. Python actually predates Ruby by about 4 years. They both came around to address needs in programming community, but the philosophies are different. They're both object-oriented languages. They're both dynamic. They both have a lot different functionality. They're very flexible languages. You will often see in Ruby that there are multiple methods to solve the same problem, and then in Python, there's only one approach. It is a very philosophical difference. The thing that unites them is the goal to write clean, readable, concise code. The difference between Python and Ruby is that Python is a high-level general-purpose language that can be used to write a short script, build an API, or even build a complex object-oriented web spider, while Ruby is a dynamic, reflective, object-oriented, general-purpose programming language. The companies that use Python are Google, Yahoo, Dropbox, Venmo, YouTube, while the companies that use Ruby are Holo, Twitter, Zendesk, Basecamp, Shopify, Urban Dictionary, and GitHub. And now the question is, why is Python is great first coding language for beginners? And the answer is, Python's syntax is very similar to English, so it helps you to understand what's going on. Python is readable and easy to learn. Python will be the marketable skill if you join any software engineering team because you'll know how to create something that is well maintained and well received by your team. Python programmers are among the most highly paid, which is encouraging, especially if you're considering starting a career in software engineering. And most of all, Python comes with a powerful and easy-to-use graphical user interface toolkit, web programming libraries, and more. And best of all, it's free. Now, let's talk about advantages and benefits in using Python. Python is easy to use. Python is expressive. Python is an expressive language. Expressive in its context means that a single line of Python can do more than a single line of code in most other languages. The advantages of more expressive language are obvious. The fewer lines of code you write, the faster you can complete the project. Not only that, the fewer lines of code there are, the easier the program will be maintained and debugged. Another advantage is that Python is complete. The idea is that when you install Python, it includes everything you need to do in real work without the need to install additional libraries. And also, Python is a cross-platform. Python is also an excellent cross-platform language. Python runs on many different platforms: Windows, Mac, Linux, Onyx, and so on. Moreover, Python is free and open source, extensive libraries, and database connectivity. So far, we've seen why Python is a great choice for the beginners, but if you must choose it, you should be aware of its consequences as well. There are several disadvantages that Python programming has. One of the disadvantages of Python is the speed limitation. Python is slower than C or C++, but of course, Python is a high-level language. Unlike C or C++, it's not closer to the hardware. Another disadvantage is mobile development. Python is not a very good language for mobile development. It's seen as a weak language for mobile computing. And also another disadvantage is memory consumption. Python is not good choice for memory-intensive tasks. Due to the flexibility of data types, Python's memory consumption is also high. Another disadvantage is database access. Python has limitation with database access. And the last disadvantages of using Python is runtime errors. Python programmers cited several issues with the design of the language. Because the language is dynamically typed, it requires more testing and has error only show up at the runtime. And that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below in the comment section. And I hope you found this video useful. Please like, give this video a thumbs up, and hit the subscribe button for more videos.